I think CyberRange is a really good starting point to like when you want to start transitioning into cyber. But definitely get the fundamentals. I regret not focusing on like networking fundamentals so much because it has been so like every interview I've done has been networking questions. Every course I've done is like there's networking aspect to it, and I'm like I wish I got better with it. So I'm kind of regressing going to learning networking again. So I would say get good with networking, and then you'll be good from there.
Today's interview is with a guy named Andrew. He basically went from working in help desk, doing password resets, and broke out of help desk and got a more advanced IT role with a really decent pay bump. And he kind of talks about his strategy for doing that, like what he did along the way, and like the whole application and interview process. And it's just a really good watch. Basically, the more that you do, like the more active you are in doing stuff, the more opportunities you're going to have to like move up or get better jobs and that type of thing. So yeah, it's going to be a good interview. Check it out. Hey, everybody. Josh Madakor here. I'm a cybersecurity YouTuber and CyberRange owner. And we have Alex here, who recently got a new job in IT. And he kind of agreed to come on and talk to us about his experience and process. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. It's Andrew.
What did
We
I
got
say?
close. Dude, it happens so often. You have no idea.
What did I call you?
Alex.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's so crazy. Oh, because your last name, huh?
Uh,
Because like Andrew Felix, I think.
yeah. Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, Jesus
That-
Christ. I called you Alex in my head like a bunch of times because I was looking at your name and I'm like half
No,
asleep. So that's
it's totally fine. You could leave it in. I'm cool with it. I think it's funny.
okay.
It happens
All
a
right,
lot.
it'll be like a hook. That's probably why, because your last name in
I
our human brain, like
That makes a lot more sense now. I never thought of it like that.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I get it.
Okay. Well, yeah. So do you do you mind doing like a brief introduction to yourself and like kind of what you're doing in your previous job before you got this job and like a bit of a background?
Yeah, so quick summary. My previous job was with the San Bernardino County in Southern California as a help desk worker. For those who don't know San Bernardino County, it's like the largest county in the U.S. as far as like land mass goes, so it's very very large. I think it's like ranked number 15 in like population. Um, so it was help desk, and that was mainly resetting passwords. So hey, I forgot my password. Like, yeah, give me your information, unlock it. Not that great. Before that, two other jobs. Previous one before that was at a smallish law firm, um, and then before that was a seasonal IT support technician with Amazon, the warehouse I was working at. And then before that, just a normal level one Amazon warehouse worker. And then before that, just Target warehouse. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been doing this for 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years.
Oh, cool. And then it sounds like you made like the official transition to into IT like a while ago. Can you talk about that a bit? Like, how did you actually make that jump from a warehouse worker into actually getting into IT? Like, what are your strategies and stuff that you did?
So in 2021, I was about 4 years into Amazon doing the warehouse working.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I knew I had to do something to get out of just doing warehouse work because I hated it. And at Amazon at the time, they had a something called career choice, and basically it was pretty limited back then, where they'll pay for like a vocational school. You could be electrician, a truck driver, or HVAC or something. I was gonna do that, but I think I was gonna do HVAC. But then they announced that they were going to expand their career choice options and like bring in a bunch of schools that they'll pay for, and WGU was one of them. And then
Okay.
I got the TikToks of do cybersecurity, you can make six figures, all that. So I was like, I kind of like computers, and cybersecurity seems interesting. Um,
Mm.
and prior to that, my only experience with IT was building my computer the year before, and that was like not easy at all. Like that was my only experience. I didn't grow up with like computers or anything, so I knew nothing. Um,
Gotcha.
so I decided to do that, and I started WGU cybersecurity, the bachelor's in cybersecurity. First class started in February, and it was like
Okay.
intro to computers. I only brought in like three classes from my previous like college experience, which I dropped out.
Mm.
Um,
Gotcha.
So I was in it for like a month, and the building I was working at, Amazon, they posted uh, a seasonal IT support technician role. I applied to it. I had no experience, probably a garbage resume. Um, 50 people applied. They chose 5 people, two of which didn't show up to the interview. So it was me versus two other people,
Mm.
and I did better than the rest of them. And
Oh
then
wow.
the rest is history. I started from there,
Oh nice.
ground up, and learned everything at that point. Really, no
That's cool.
certifications, no official training, nothing. Just day one, trial
Gotcha.
by fire. Really.
Cool. Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
And then that's amazing. And then for your current role, you were doing like a really heavy help desk ish stuff, and then you recently got hired into like a new role. Can you talk about like your new role a bit, like the maybe the title and
The
what you're doing, I guess,
So I
if you know
start
yet.
actually start next week. I'm actually going to be preparing for this week. The title is IT Technician One. I don't really like the technician like title. Uh,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound as fancy. I like specialist or analyst or something, but whatever. IT technician.
Hmm.
But um, it's going to be a mixture of some help desk, some system administration. Um, I think it's a mixture of help desk and system administration. Me and some other guy did get hired, and I believe we'll have kind of different responsibilities.
Okay.
But talking to the manager, I asked him like what kind of things I should learn, things like what hardware, software products they use because it's a city job. So
Okay.
transitioning from county to a city, which is really weird because the county is so big and the city in comparison is so small.
Yeah.
But basically use like Cisco routers and switches, Fortinet firewalls, Jira ticketing systems, um, some other things. So right now I'm actually the way I'm preparing is I'm just going through Jeremy IT Labs, his
Okay.
CCNA course. Um,
Okay.
I I think I might just get CCNA at this point because screw
Yeah.
it, why not? um, so I'm kind of preparing in that way of just trying to get a good grasp on Cisco equipment
Hmm.
and just so I'm not like completely lost. And they're really cool. They're like, we're gonna train you, we're gonna bring you up to speed on how to use all these things. So that's really cool. But I want to get at least somewhat of a head start.
Yeah, that's good. And were you like actively applying for the job, or did they actually like poach you, or like how did that whole like thing happen?
I started applying. Um, I think I applied this role in like November last year. I think.
Okay. Okay.
If
Oh wow.
future reference for anyone that is applying to government jobs, county, city, whatever, it takes forever. It takes a long
Hmm.
time, depending the role. If it's like a higher up, I imagine it's probably faster. Um, so it's been months of waiting. And the way it worked, they they actually brought in everyone to one of their locations to do like a test, like a multiple choice test. Um, and I haven't done a test since like Security Plus of last year, so it was really weird. Um,
Oh wow.
and it was like combination of like questions about like Active Directory, how would you go about handling this customer situation, pick the best answer. So it was a kind of a mixture, and I did pretty good on it. I had a coworker who also applied and did not do well. I thought it was pretty
Oh
easy,
wow.
honestly.
Okay.
Apparently, I was one of the highest scorers, so that was cool. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so after passing that, I think like 2 weeks later, I was called in to do interview. Went into the interview, and I think about a week or two later, they called and they're like, "We want to offer you the role." So I was like,
Um,
"Yeah, great, let's do it." Better
that's pretty
pay, better
cool.
benefits, all that.
That's amazing. And also, you're in kind of like a high population area where there's a lot of people and seemingly a lot of competition. So that's
They
like
they
pretty
told
cool.
me about 300 people applied to that role, and
Yeah.
tested. They picked like 220ish to like test for or to take the test. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way." I talked to the guy next to me. I was like, "Hey, what do you do for work?" He was like, "Oh, I'm a network administration or network admin. I was like, there's no way I'm passing this. This dude's got it.
But you did.
Yeah,
So
that's what threw me off. I was like, there's no way.
you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
So I want to ask like so for people watching like Andrew was like member of Cyberrange, which is my community, but I'm assuming you did like a lot of other stuff. I want to talk about like how the Cyberrange was useful, but can you say like did you like what did you use outside of that to kind of prepare for your interview and like make your resume and all that? Can you talk about that a bit?
So for resume, I actually used the previous resume I had before I made. Actually, no, sorry. I was using your resume template prior.
Okay.
So similar format. Updated one is same thing, but like more information, better. So I actually got this before even having like CyberRange stuff on it, which I was like, okay. So the even with my just help desk experience and everything, your resume helped a lot just to get in.
Oh, nice.
So I use your resume. For preparing for the role, I actually went on their website just to see what kind of systems that they use. So for a tip for anyone in California, at least, I'm not sure how it is for other states. You can look up, just type in the city and just type in Enterprise System Catalog. Um, yeah, so if it's like you're applying for City of LA, just type in City of LA Enterprise System Catalog, and it has there's some law. I'm not sure anything about it, but it kind of I guess they have to show what systems that they use. So like what ticketing system that they use, what sort of if they use Exchange for their email system, things like that. Their video conferencing system. Um, so that helped a
That's really
lot.
useful.
Yeah,
Wow.
is very useful. And one of the
Yeah.
first questions that they asked me was like, "How did you prepare for this role?" I was like, "Well, I visited your website and saw that you guys have these things in that you use, so I was just looking up how to use those products just to get like up to speed." So that's what I did. Also looked on Reddit, just see like if there's anything I could learn about the city itself, and then I also went on LinkedIn just to find anyone that works for the city, just to like I went on private on LinkedIn so they didn't see I was stalking them. Just see kind of what they did. So that's how I prepared. And I think it worked out pretty good.
That's really smart. And I tell people a lot. I don't know if you were on the call yesterday, but I tell people like to think about it like you're a spy and you're
Yeah.
trying to like infiltrate a company and you just learn as much as you can about everything. And then because the more knowledge you have, it's just going to be better for you. And it sounds like that's kind of like what you did, right?
Yeah, it was very helpful. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you guys use like Jira, and they're like, yep, that's exactly what we use. I was like, sick, great. So I think it worked out pretty good.
That's really dope. Um, do you remember, were you applying to a lot of jobs at that time? Like, do you remember how many you applied to, or you just wanted that one and you just pretty much applied to only this one?
I was applying to, I think mainly like city jobs.
Okay.
I kind of like the benefits that they offered, and it was kind of like you can see the layout of like salary schedules and whatnot. So I was pretty
Oh, yeah.
comfortable. It seemed a little safer at the time than versus working in like the private sector. You know how that's
Hmm.
going. Like, oh, maybe the city or county jobs are a little bit safer than federal jobs right now.
Yeah, yeah.
City and
Because,
county, they're more protected. Um, so I was just applying to really anywhere that was nearby within like driving distance. Um,
gotcha.
yeah, I was just mass applying. Um, Even within the county itself, I actually had an interview for today, but I no longer work there, and that was actually a step up of my previous position. I think it was like $6 more an hour, $5 more an hour. So I was applying within my job role, outside, county, city. I did a few private sector jobs. Haven't heard anything from them. Whatever, it's fine.
Gotcha. Cool, cool. And then you don't have to give exact numbers or anything really, but can you talk, are you able to give like a range of like your previous job and then your new job in terms of salary?
Yeah. When I first, so with Amazon, since I was seasonal, I was still considered a tier one worker. So I just kept my
Hmm.
same warehouse schedule or salary.
Okay.
That was, I think at the time, like $20.50 an hour. Um,
Okay.
so I was at that, and then when I started with the law firm, like a year later, year and a half later, I was at $22 an hour.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're like, we can offer you $21. I'm like, what's the highest you can go? I was like, I'm not gonna switch jobs for 50 cents more.
Yeah.
So I started at 22, ended at 22.
Hmm.
I was there for almost a year. Then with the county, I started off at like $24 an hour, and ended at 26. Because they got a bunch of like raises from union and stuff like that. And then
Gotcha.
this new job, I'm starting off at $34 an hour. So
Oh,
basically going from like 52 to like 72,000. So like a $20,000 bonus essentially.
that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
Decent jump.
not a lot. 72 may not be a lot for some people, but it's the most I've ever made, so that's cool. Um, there's been a consistent upwards trajectory. This one, everything has been like kind of like small. This one was like the biggest like peak, so like $8 more an hour. Yeah, so that's what I'm starting off at.
It's pretty good. It's like another human working part time for you and just
Yeah,
giving you all their salary,
essentially, yeah.
essentially.
And it's gonna be a better role where I don't want to just expire myself. Hated help desk. I hated help desk. Oh my gosh, resetting passwords 9 hours a day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, probably get lack of mental stimulation after
If
some time.
man, but in downtime of that previous job, I would use my downtime to study. To be fair, so it
Mm.
wasn't completely boring. That's what I recommend my coworkers. I'm like, just study, do something if you want to leave this job because everyone hated it. It was terrible.
Well, I'm glad you got out.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the new role. But yeah, so those are my numbers.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm sure a lot of people find this interesting.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like the cyber range, like people don't know the cyber range. It's basically like an open work environment where people can practice doing certain things using certain security tools. Did you actually find any of that useful for like when you're applying or interviewing for the new role, or is it just like a coincidence that you happen to be in the cyber range and then you just kind of got everything with the previous knowledge you had? Like, did it help at all?
I think it was both. Definitely, yeah. I would say it's a mixture of like other like your course, previous courses I've done, just experience in general. So it was like a combination of everything.
Mm.
I mean, one of the first questions I was asked was, how would you respond to a phishing email? Someone clicking on a phishing email. Funny enough, 2 weeks prior, I clicked on the phishing email with my company, so that was cool. I was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed, but it happens to the best of us, I guess.
Yeah, I've done this.
It was such it was a good phishing test, I will say. It was really good. But yeah, one of the questions was how someone clicked on a phishing email, how would you respond? And I didn't say I didn't mention this specifically. I was too nervous and it blanked, but
Mm.
basically went through the incident response life cycle.
Okay.
I was like, well, depending on the company policy, you got to follow that. But generally, this is the steps that you want to take. So I went through kind of like each life cycle, and I didn't expect that question,
Mhm.
like at all. I was like, I didn't really know what to expect, honestly. But my mind immediately went to like the cyber range because we're going through. I think that was like probably one of the earlier lessons of like in the vulnerability management and incident response and all that. So my
Yeah.
mind immediately went to that, and I think I answered pretty well. I gave pretty good detail, and you can only gauge so much of the interviewer's response, but it
Yeah.
seemed working pretty good. Um, so yeah, that was helpful. Um, in the interview, I mentioned I was part of um, cybersecurity internship, letting them know my experience, kind of like what I'm doing, vulnerability management, using Azure, Sentinel, Defender for Endpoint. I wasn't sure if that was products that they used,
Mhm.
but I was like, I do have experience with cloud now, and this is my experience as a part of my internship.
Gotcha.
They seemed to like that. They didn't really go into detail or anything, or like ask follow up questions. But I was like, let me just mention this. I don't have only just help desk experience. I do
Mhm.
have. I let them know I was very security focused, essentially.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. It's good if you can like, uh, how can I say, work in that you've done other things, or kind
Yeah.
of let them know that you have exposure. So I think that's really good. And you said something at the very beginning that I want to like touch on, when I was asking about like, did you make use of the cyber range? Basically, your answer was like you did a lot of stuff. It's like a combination of a lot of things, and a lot of people. I think it's really important to recognize that fact, because people will do like a lot of stuff, and then the thing they did at the end, like they'll like attribute that to their success. But you
Hmm.
done like a lot of stuff beforehand, and like a lot of OSINT, like the open source intelligence gathering, and you took some other courses, and then you did a lot. So for people watching, like basically like the more you do and the better your execution is, the faster you're going to like get what you want, whether that's like a
Hmm.
promotion or like a new job or whatever. Because it sounds like you've done a lot and you've been putting in a lot of effort. So yeah,
Yeah, you have no choice when you if you want to, I don't know, career growth, you have to do something.
yeah,
Um, that was the biggest thing. My previous coworkers, I'm like, you guys gotta like study or do something. Like, if you want to stay here, like I don't want to stay here. You gotta do something.
yeah.
Um, and some of them, that made sense. Some of them were just like burnt out and like I've done enough studying. I was like, I get it, but if you want to leave this, you gotta do something more because this
Yeah,
job isn't providing like the experience that you need to, get out of it. So you
yeah.
gotta do extra on the side on top of this, which sucks, but it is what it is.
That's like a thing I noticed, not in every government jobs, but a lot of government jobs. It's kind of slow paced, and it's hard to get exposure to a lot of stuff unless you really go out of your way to try to learn it, you know? Because I worked in government a lot,
Yeah.
and I kind of had to do the same thing. You have to like seek outside for extra stuff.
One of the my first interview with Amazon, the IT manager,
Mm.
something that always stuck out to me that he said he doesn't like um, people staying complacent in their role. Which I thought was weird. I was like, he's like, I want people to grow, learn more, and try to get up in like higher positions. I'm like, do people not want to do that? And which surprised me. And one of the things he told me that helped me get the job was very forward thinking. Like I had a plan. I There were goals that I had. Um, but I learned quickly in all my jobs that I've had, no, people will stay complacent in where they're at. Like Amazon, I'd ask coworkers who've been there for a while. I'm like, oh, you don't want to become like the support engineer? They're like, no, that's more responsibility, more work. I'm like, yeah, but you get more pay and like you get to do more things. I think it's cool. They're like, that's more stress. I'm like, all right, is what it
Yeah,
is.
it's surprising. I think people should like really use their, not as much as they can, but I think people should make a lot of use of their brain, because a human can be like really smart and we can do a lot of stuff if we give ourselves a chance. But some people like they just want to like coast, at some point, which I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah, like it pays enough and covers everything. I'm good. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I get it.
Gotcha. And then you mentioned you enrolled at WGU. Did you finish, or was that just this year you started?
I started in 2022. I
Okay.
had to drop it halfway
Okay.
because Amazon was paying for it. Well, when I left Amazon, it was up to me, and
Gotcha.
that became more expensive. And it was slower pace with Amazon because they would pay for one class at a time, so I can only do one class. So
Mm.
once I finished it, basically had to do like application to get another class, which was pretty quick, but um, I didn't know anything about like what was the resource like study.com or like the Sophia or something like that
Sophia,
dot com.
yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know about any of that until after I applied. I was like, well, great, cool. But so when I got to like the A plus, it took me like 4 months. I started off with core two, I think. Failed the first time, but yeah, that was like 4 months. I only could do one class, and I couldn't do any of the classes, so it was a lot slower pace.
Gotcha.
Um, so I think I got up to like 60 credits, I believe. And then I basically had to like stop because I was like, all right, I need to, I need to focus on bills right now. So I do plan on pursuing that degree again. A part of me kind of wants to switch from the cybersecurity to the network engineering and security.
Okay.
Because man, I'm over the CompTIA certifications. Honestly, the like Cisco ones seem a lot more appealing. But I don't know. We'll see. Probably next year because my job
Yeah.
does offer tuition reimbursement.
CCNA is really good. I feel it's, in my opinion, it's probably the best like entry level cert, if you can call it that, because it has like so many hits on the job boards, and the content of it is for me, it was really, really, really good. I was like, wow, I can actually do something after finishing the CCNA.
I was arguing with some guy on Reddit. He was like, "No, for beginners like trying to break in, they should get like the trifecta versus like
Mm,
CCNAs. Like CCNA is something you get while you already have a job and you're getting experience." I'm like, I think CCNA still is better because you can learn A plus content on the job. That's what I did. I
yeah,
I think if I would rather take a CCNA guy, like all things equal, experience and everything. One guy has CCNA, other guy has like A plus and Network plus. I'm taking the CCNA guy, honestly.
yeah. It's
Like,
so practical. It's so
yeah,
good.
like even if they're not gonna be doing like network administration or anything, like they're not gonna be configuring switches or anything, they
Hmm.
still have that potential to do so and like learn. Like I didn't learn anything from Network plus. I mean, I
Yeah.
learned, but like practical skills, they was just it was just gone. I was just focused on passing the
Yeah.
certification,
Hmm.
not really developing skills. So that's my fault. But that's why I'm like I should probably focus on CCNA right now just to get like better networking skills because every job I've applied for and interviewed for has
Hmm.
been a big focus in networking, like testing your networking knowledge. So I'm like, all right, CCNA is probably better.
Yeah, it's really good. I hesitate to recommend people because it can be kind of hard if you're not ready for, like, if you don't know what you're getting into, it can like catch you off guard. So
Hmm.
I don't, I worry about people getting discouraged from it, but it's like it is like the best entry level cert in my opinion. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're planning on working for Amazon, they use a lot of Cisco equipment. Um, Counties and cities, I mean, a lot of them. In a previous job, I asked the like networking lead person. He was like, "Yeah, like 95% of our stuff is all Cisco, as far as
yeah,
like routers and switches. Firewall, I'm not sure, but like routers and switching, it's Cisco. So
and that makes me, or that reminds me. Do you get any certs before you got your current job, or you don't have certs yet?
I have the trifecta: the A plus, Network plus, and Security plus. So that's what I
Okay,
have.
okay, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. And I guess for people listening, if somebody were to go through, I'll ask you like for a cyber range and then not cyber range related.
Mhm.
Like if someone's listening and they're considering to do the cyber range, is there any like particular part of it or component that you think people should pay attention to that you found helpful or that you think will help other people?
Let's see. Definitely do the like what's it called? The training videos, like the oh my gosh, what's it called? Like learning about NIST and like the kind of like the foundational, like you should learn like the different because it's easy to like want to skip over that or like let me just get to the vulnerability management
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not gonna lie I was doing. I went through the videos but I'm like I kind of know I kind of knew some of that stuff already from like security plus and stuff like that, um, but definitely pay attention to it because it is actually useful. Um, so actually listen to the training and everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if someone were to join, yeah, definitely do that. And then I would say take your time to actually understand what you're doing and not just breeze through it. Um, I would recommend starting off with the vulnerability management. Uh, that was easier to me than the like instant response KQL. I would recommend that. Um,
Sure.
but take your time to actually understand what you're doing and just practice it a couple times. I didn't do the 5 times that you recommended. I probably should have, honestly, and I will. Just to get the practice in, but don't just do it once and then just like, all right, I'm done. Cool. GitHub, we're good. Um, because if someone tests you on it, like if someone's experienced and they ask you questions on it, they'll be able to spot that you're just like you don't know what you're talking about. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
like you don't have to become an expert, but like you got to be able to talk about it. So I would say go slow and just get some repetitions in. Whatever you want to start with, vulnerability or the instant response or threat hunting. Just take your time and just try to learn as much as you possibly can. I would say enough to where if someone were gonna like randomly take you off the street and be like, hey, answer these questions about vulnerability management.
Hmm.
That you can have an idea of like, oh yeah, this is what you do. This is kind of like the start process, and here's the end, and just things like that. I was yeah, take your time. Just enough yapping for me.
That's a good answer. I appreciate it. And then I also want to ask, like, if you have just anyone watching who wants to get into IT or wants to change their career, like not related to me or the cyber range, I want to hear like, I guess what advice you would give them because you're the kind of person who like you don't need like cyber range or any product to get where you got because you have like a lot of execution. You know, you've been doing a lot of stuff, so you'll be successful anyways. So the people watching, like, what do you recommend them to do, like in terms of mindset and like strategy if they want to change their career?
I would say if you have no experience at all, like you're kind of starting from point zero, um, I don't recommend getting CompTIA certifications. I think studying the content is good. So like A plus, Network plus, Security plus. Just go to oh my gosh, Professor Messer. Free videos. Like I would always say, you don't have to spend money at first. At least you can do most things for free. Um, I would say just watch his videos just to get understanding of everything, and then do some free online like tests to actually solidify what you're doing. You can even buy his tests if you want to. Um, but just watch free videos. Try to practice where you can at home, whether it's on like an old laptop, whatever. If pick something that you're okay with maybe breaking on accident. Um, yeah, so I would say study like the just the trifecta material. Um, Something that is really good that I've seen is from TCM Security. They have like a practical help desk like course. They have a certification. I don't know if that's
Mm,
necessary, but
I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah, and it kind of does it glosses over A plus, Network plus, and Security plus content. Kind of condenses everything,
Mm,
and it actually has you do like you're actually doing hands on, like you're creating a virtual machine and like virtual box. You're setting up Active Directory. You're setting up your own ticketing system. Um, so doing something like that, I think, is really good. And I believe you have a similar course. I haven't seen it because I'm not
that sounds
in.
like that's like the same almost as as mine.
Yeah,
It's
I'm like,
almost same.
I was like, I'm pretty sure yours is the same thing too. I think
That's
they
a
use like
funny.
peppermint ticketing system, and yours was like a different ticketing system.
You're
But like,
supposed
I
to
mean,
hit.
people pick what you want. Um,
Mhm.
I haven't done either because I'm far past like like those steps now.
Yeah.
Just pick one. But do something to where you can get actual hands-on experience because um, for help desk, as far as my experience goes, you
Mhm.
they don't expect a lot. They really don't. Um, it's kind of loose. Some help desks are like more of system administration roles. Um, but if it's like a true help desk job, they just want to see that you have good good customer service. Like they always ask customer service questions, like how would you respond to an angry customer? How do you prioritize tickets? Stuff like that. Um, so having good customer service, and then just an ability to show that you can find an answer on your own. Like, how would you go about this? I haven't done that before, but here's how I would go about doing it. They just want to see that you can actually troubleshoot on your own and not just immediately like, oh, just ask my manager, ask my coworker. Um, because help desk in itself isn't that hard as long as you're just willing to learn. So, kind of bring it back, study the content, choose your platform, whatever you want. I would say if you're going to get a certification, do CCNA. Um, I think it's just going to be good. And you might like networking a lot to where you want to go like CCNP route. Um, and from what I've seen, a lot of times the transition to cyber isn't like starting there. It's kind of like pivoting to that role, where a lot of people are like network admins, and then they transition into like a SOC role or something else. So I would say it is good to get CCNA. Even the county says though he likes CCNA. I was like, oh, cool. Um, so I would get CCNA, and then as far as going the cyber route, I think generally like the generalist SOC is probably the best way to go to start learning SOC fundamentals, pick the sim of your choice. What's it called? Yeah, I mean, just pick your route. I would say just try to get to that first help desk job if you can, and then just study, study, study. Um, pick, get your certification, whatever it is. If you want to do cloud, focus on cloud stuff. If you want to do blue teaming, learn all blue teaming stuff that you can. Um, red teaming, GRC, whatever you want to do. Um, yeah, you can start off as a generalist, or you can just go straight for learning something specific. There's a lot of good platforms out there. CyberRange, good YouTubers, got a lot of good platforms. Hack the Box, Cyber Defenders. So there's really no excuse to not be able to like learn any of this. You can do it for free. At a certain point, you will have to pay some money. Um, you just
Yeah.
will. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to expend a lot of money, but at a certain point, you gotta spend something to get a return. Um, I think CyberRange is probably is really good uh,
Nice.
investment. Like a lot of my previous like learning is like kind of like setting up things on your own, which is really good. But having everything kind of set up already is for you is honestly really nice. Not having to set up the sim or any of that. Not to shill or anything, but I would recommend it. I think
Thanks.
CyberRange is
And
a really good starting point to like when you want to start transitioning into cyber. But definitely get the fundamentals. I regret not focusing on like networking fundamentals so much because it has been so like every interview I've done has been networking questions. Every course I've done is like there's networking aspect to it, and I'm like I wish I got better with it. So I'm kind of regressing going to learning networking again. Um, so I would say get good with networking, and then you'll be good from there.
cool. That sounds good. And the way, as you talk, it kind of reiterates the fact that you kind of laid out a roadmap for people, and it's a good roadmap. And if people execute on it well, they're going to have success. Um, but it's for anyone listening, it's like really important because you can almost take like any roadmap or almost take like any strategy, even if it's a bad one, and if you execute on it hard enough, you will see success eventually. But what Andrew kind of laid out is like a really efficient one. So that's just one of the possible
Yeah.
efficient roadmaps. And if you execute on it hard, like you're gonna see some kind of success eventually. It's like, well within the realm of it's possible for like anyone to do. If you have enough execution, which you basically showed us.
Yeah, yeah. Don't procrastinate. Just do something. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of good videos out there to like how to do something. Yeah, don't get stuck in tutorial hell, as they say. You
Yeah.
don't know how to do anything without watching a tutorial. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you gotta you gotta be able to like figure out things on your own as well. That's what I've learned. It sucks, but it is really helpful. It really is.
Yeah, well, cool. Thanks so much. I appreciate it a lot. And I wanted to ask you, like, do you have like a YouTube or something? Because I see you have a proper mic there.
No, so I got this like my pod mic. I got this a couple years ago. Um,
Mm.
I just got it for like Discord and stuff like that. It is not
Okay.
necessary at all, like whatsoever. Like I have like the studio headset and
Damn.
all like the IEMs and stuff like that. Not necessary at
Okay.
all. I just liked it for like gaming and stuff. Um,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I spend too much money on like computer stuff that is not necessary whatsoever. But now just a good old LinkedIn for me. No YouTube.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
YouTube would
Okay.
be good though.
Yeah. 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 If you ever start a YouTube, like hit me up. We'll do like a collab, or I'll
Yeah,
help soft launch your channel or something.
I would love it. That'd be cool.
Well, cool. Yeah. Thanks so much again. This is going to be helpful to a lot of people. I appreciate it. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.